Hey everyone, I hope you're well. This is CoinsKid. Just going to Vchain once again. Thank you for your support. Okay, big of the CoinsKid crew. So we most definitely need to see a fifth wave here to increase the probability that this is an impulse and not necessarily a corrective wave. Because the trouble with these waves is, if you see this is some kind of A, possibly a B into a C before we drop like that. That's absolutely possible. Now I don't necessarily envision that because what we've not seen here for VeChain or the crypto markets is an alt season. We've seen a little burst there where we saw a little drop in the Bitcoin dominance, but we've not actually seen that big sort of waterfall in the Bitcoin dominance, which is typically that we see towards the end of every cycle. So I think that we may have that in front of us, and it's one of the confluencing factors right now that I'm looking at. And obviously if you're paying attention to XRP videos, I'm looking at that to give us a guide whether or not VeChain's cooked and XRP's cooked, or we will see that big flourish, which is my primary expectation, to be honest with you. So that, again, there's no bias in here, it's just pure data as an inverse correlation to the Bitcoin dominance right now playing out. That where I think we are in the market is really simple. The purple line is a Bitcoin dominance. Okay, so this Bitcoin dominance has been rising and rising and rising since I think roughly late 2022 right there, which is a confluence of Bitcoin breaking out in 5 waves. So Bitcoin has been coming up and the dominance has been coming up, but at some point we sort of plateau in the dominance and then we begin to come back down the stairs. And then once you see these big flushes to the downside, this is where you typically see your mania phase, your big vertical in the altcoins. Look at that timeline just there. When this started to drop late 2022, it began to drop all the way back down into the spring of 2021. This is where we start to see VeChain go absolutely vertical, and we've not necessarily seen it in this cycle yet for Bitcoin. The dominance is not really broken down to lead to that big alt season. So this is something that I think is on the radar. I think we need to keep an eye on, and if we do start to see a big flush and a big drop to the downside in the dominance like this, a huge flush over many weeks right there, then okay, we really are increasing the probability that this bull runs over. So this is something that I just don't see with this structure in the Bitcoin dominance. So this is why I do remain bullish, and I think there's a potential trade here on VeChain, but it doesn't make me a perm bull, perm bear, whatever. I just don't see the signs that the bull market's over. This is something I'm trying to relay to you. So obviously I'm waiting for more data and structural data from Bitcoin to say, okay, we are in a bear market or macro correction, whatever, but I just don't necessarily see it yet. I think what we've got here for VeChain is really simple. I think possibly we're there. Okay, so I've gone through this with you before, but if we take a look at the Bitcoin dominance quickly, as an inverse correlation, this is where you are. If you take a look at this, you're sort of consolidating a range. This is consolidating a range after initial drop. There's your initial drop, which was this initial drop, which is basically where VeChain broke out, So I think that we're sort of consolidating a range on the dominance like this. We've retraced back up, and then what we're looking for in the dominance is a drop. If we see that, this is where you are. Okay, this is where you are as an inverse correlation, and there's no bias here. In theory, if we see this drop in the dominance right there, then we should see the power for VeChain there to go vertical and take out and attack the all-time high. So technically, what are we looking at? I actually think we've bottomed here for VeChain, and again, I'm looking for the invalidation. I don't quite see it. I think that from here with it, and way back there in April of 2021, we had the A, we had the B, and we've had the C. Okay, and within the C wave, what we've got is really simple: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves down. Beautiful. We're in the C wave as well. If you take a look, and this is something I relay to the CoinsKid crew: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave counter. Beautiful. And then we come up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. With the flag coming back, we trace this low, then we broke out again, and we've got 5 macro waves here, 5 microwaves, sorry, to that high in February, March of last year, where I did, because of the 5 waves up, was looking for a correction on VeChain. Really simple. So from here we've got the 1 into the 2 into the 3 into the 4 into the 5, and then boom, we've got that overlapping corrective waves. Would actually think bottom just there with the bullish divergence that I relayed to you as an opportunity. So from here we've gone sideways. We've got to come on 1 into a 2 into a 3, right now possible 4, and we're looking at a vertical. But one thing we need to see to increase the probability, okay, this vertical is going to start to form in the charts like it did way back there in that cycle, February 2021, is we need to see the drop in the dominance. And this is why I'm paying attention to the dominance. A lot of people just want me to look at VeChain or XRP or the only chart, the sole chart within itself, but I do tend to look at other data points and other charts with you to build a case to we're bearish or bullish. It really is that simple. So keep an eye on the dominance. It's really important, because if the dominance does begin to break out, then we're not at this point here where we started to drop and this initially started to pop. The inverse correlation is not playing out. So this is why I think the dominance is a very important factor here, because if the dominance does drop and coming back up, retracing to this eye, and it starts to drop like this, then you've got this vertical in front of you, just like you did there. Really simple. So technically what I'm looking at with VeChain, I think that there's a possibility that this is where we are in that cycle, given the dominance setup, given the cycle, you know, where we are as well, you know. So basically this cluster here is where we are for VeChain. So this drop here, this corona dump, was basically this leg here. Then we bolted a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 setup, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 setup, and I was looking at the striking similarities between that 5-wave move up and this 5-wave move up. I did say to you it could get as nasty as this was coming back. That was roughly 62%. So at this time I did say to you, and I've shown you in the video, if it gets nasty it could come back over 60%, and it did exactly that. So what we're looking for at the bottom is, you know, some kind of reversal pattern, which we traded, beautiful, jumped in on the bullish divergence, then the breakout, which should come out and take out that all-time that local high, sorry, which is what it did there, and then back test and then go. So back test and then go. So this is what I'm looking at. We can't afford for VeChain to break down anymore, and most importantly, you know, your bull market support here for VeChain has moved up the stairs, in my opinion. So right now, if it does lose this pivot low, I will absolutely exit my VeChain position. But so far, that was your bull market support, the low from June of 2023. But right now, this is your bull market support, the low from August. If we break down below that, then this increases the probability that all of this move back up is simply corrective to where you've came down from, and it could just be part of a larger cycle where this is an A, this is a B, and then you roll into the C. It's a deeper correction than I actually anticipate. But I'm going to give it the benefit of that, because simply, and again, there's no bias here, towards the end of the cycle we see the big drop in the dominance, and we've just not seen it. Okay, so this is what I think is in front of us. I think this is potentially where we are, you know, and which is pretty much where we bolted. If you take a look, this low here is the same as this low here, which is pretty much where Bitcoin, the dominance, began to drop. Really, really simple. So we dropped, this popped, consolidating a range on a previous pivot high, consolidating a range on a previous pivot high, and it's looking to bolt as this drops. So that's the primary expectation at the moment, and this is why I will keep showing the, you know, the Bitcoin dominance chart. But so far so good. If it does play out like I think it may do, then what we've got here, we broke here, this is an ascending triangle, boom 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 boom, breakout on the third point resistance, 1, 2, 3, consolidating a range and break. Just here we've got a very similar situation. We've got this 1, this 2, and right now we're on a 3, having a higher low, and we look to go. So we should in theory be looking to break out relatively soon as we lead into February for VeChain, where we start to come up and attack these highs here for VeChain going forward. So I wish everyone most luck. In a minute, I'm bullish. I don't see any reason to be overly bearish, because we may have simply had an ABC and consolidating in a range, trying to create a reversal pattern when we do start to come back up like this, like we did here. You know, you got this beautiful A, B, C, sideways compression pattern, boom, 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 and then you break out. So some kind of 1 into a 2, into a 3, into a 4, into a big 5. Okay, and this is where we are right now, at this leg here, where we've got this in front of us with the drop in the dominance. The invalidation, that's your bull market support right now at 0.1865.072. So I've been as far as I can. You know, obviously I'm waiting for the invalidation. The minute I start to see the dominance breaking out to the upside, then okay, increase the probability that all of this is still caught in some kind of big correction coming back, and we're not necessarily going to see that big push up from here for VeChain, which is my primary expectation, to be honest with you. But it doesn't make me a permeable. Hope you understand the update. Stay healthy, stay strong, stay tuned. Where can VeChain go to? Quickly off the bat, I've shown you this before. I'll be looking at 1.272 at minimal, around about 65 cents would be absolutely amazing. Obviously it can go beyond that, but if we start to come up here and this is some kind of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 setup, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we start to do something like what we did there, we go vertical towards the end of the bull market, we could absolutely get up there and smash the all-time high, and this would be impulsive, corrective, impulsive before another major bear market or correction going forward. So I'm looking for the invalidation. I just don't see it yet, so stay tuned to that. Hope you enjoyed that update. If you are looking for a meme coin selection, then definitely get behind our CTO meme coin that we've picked up off the floor. It's called Fart Boy. The links are in the video description right there. Hope you understand the update. Stay healthy, stay strong, stay tuned. Take care everyone. Back to another update on VeChain. Bye bye.